Hi, gorgeous Virgo family, and welcome to February 2021. Wow. I'm so excited to be here in this month. I have to say, the energy is so different than anything we were working with the last year. And it's really a breath of fresh air. And actually, as I was looking through this energy for Virgos, I was like, oh, this month is really nice for you all. And I love to see that because as we move through the first 3 weeks of this month, we're going to be working through Aquarius season. And during that time, yes, we're going to have a Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. We also have Venus moving into Aquarius on the 1st. We have obviously Saturn, Jupiter, and the Sun moving through Aquarius as well. And a new moon in Aquarius on the 11th. So the first half of February is really, really deeply dominated by Aquarian energy. In fact, it will continue the rest of the month too. But for you, your connection with Aquarian energy is 6th house detail-oriented energy, which actually lights up a lot of Virgo hearts. I know I'm a Virgo moon, and I love getting into the details of things. I love paying attention to the ritual and the showing up. And I know a lot of you do too as well. It's a really satisfying place to do exploration, to be creative actually. And I think sometimes it's very belittled, the little details, the little crafting moments that we create in our lives. Even though for me, the more that I go down this path of exploring what it means to be human, what it means to be connected, the details are where it is at. So that's why I'm saying this month is so magical. And of course, then as we move through February, we start to move into Pisces season, right? The sun moves into Pisces on the 18th, which is your opposing sign, and really lights up your connectivity. I always call this mirror season. This is a great place to kind of assess what the last 6 months has brought you, to see your life from a different perspective, to kind of welcome in and incorporate all the changes you've made and give yourself some credit. So the second half of this month, Mercury goes direct, the sun moves into Pisces, Venus enters Pisces, and the very end of the month, my friends, the full moon in your sign on the 27th happens. So this month is really supportive of you. It really holds you and says, hey, we can utilize this energy. And the message that came through for me was evolution in the smallest things. I guess I should start shuffling the cards here, huh? I get so excited talking about this month because it's so, I'm just digging this energy. It's so refreshing after last year. So it's really fun to explore how it's feeling. And sitting with my Virgo family feels really good. I was just thinking about magic in the details because this is a great time for you all to really just look around and notice where maybe you're doing things that they're fine. It's not like they're bad or anything, but that aren't quite working for you. I will give an example of something that I've just been recently assessing that fits right into this category. I was, as we've all been home a lot this last year, I was doing a lot of little video workouts, right? And I was kind of clicking on workouts that just have, the typical kind of background music. It's a little bit techno and people just being like, yeah, get it, go, which, for a lot of people, I think that works great. And I was doing it and I was like, yes, I'm moving my body. I'm getting things done. I just recently joined this beautiful thing called Ballet Beautiful. I did ballet for the first 17 years of my life. And then, kind of veered off into other things, and this whole membership it's working out utilizing muscle groups and things like that have a lot to do with ballet strength and conditioning. The tower popped out, of course. That card. It is an evolutionary time, I will say that. Don't worry though. I'm sure that there is a story to this because once again, I said that you're evolving in the small details, right? So 5 of Swords. Okay, we're having some interesting energy here coming through the cards. But anyway, I joined this membership. It's a very different type of workout. There's soft music playing it's not beat driven. there, you know, the instructor, she's like very calm. So even though you're doing things that are burning and you're like, oh my gosh, you just feel so calm. It's not adrenaline based. And I was like, it was blowing my mind that this little thing that I thought, oh, that's good enough, was actually, you know, at some level kind of tamping down my soul. So that's just like one example of like an area where I wasn't even thinking to look and assess and say, oh, maybe I should do this differently. Two of Pentacles. And then I changed it, and I was kind of blown away by how much that improved how I felt in my day, how I felt in my body. So this is a great month for that type of exploration. And the Nine of Pentacles. Wow, this is a journey, isn't it? This month we are having quite the Virgo journey through the cards, and isn't that just appropriate somehow? So we start off with some pretty dynamic energy that's all about moving pieces and shifting pieces. And then we move into very calming energy. And I do admit, like, I think all this emphasis on Aquarian energy and the Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, Aquarian energy wants us to move away from the status quo and from just what we accept as the day-to-day life. And often, you know, when especially if I see these two cards, yes, of course, like maybe you are figuring out who you can trust in life and who you want to have around and the people you want to have around you, because, you know, Five of Swords is about trust, self-trust, trusting those around us, trusting those closest to us, and figuring out, you know, what's really true and kind of having to sort through that, absolutely. But what I also see with these two cards, the Tower and the Five of Swords, is that this is really about looking at the tyranny within. And we're going to go back to one of my favorite topics, which is the inner dictator, the inner controller. I think most conscientious people, it's not everybody, but a lot of people have a voice inside. And it's so natural, actually, that we don't sometimes even realize it's the one that's telling us messages, that really has control of like why we do things, making us show up to things we don't really mean, having us adjust and address that. So for me, these cards are having, and this is where that evolution in the small things during this Aquarius season and this review process that you're going to be having the first half, or really all of February, it's a big review time for you all, to just like settle into your newest version of self, get used to it, get comfortable with it. It's going to be looking at where you may be having where maybe that inner dictator, that inner controlling voice, worry voice, has kind of taken the reins and just said, you've got to keep doing it this way because that's the only way we're going to be safe. That's the only way we can do this. And really letting go of that and just being conscious of when that's coming up. And I love this work, and I'm actually right there with you all. Recently I was talking about it on my Instagram, where I was saying that over the course of 2020, you know, I consider myself somebody who consciously works on this stuff and really tries to practice into calm energy every day. And over the course of 2020, that inner dictator got a lot louder because she wants to protect me. You know, she wants to look out for me. She wants to notice any pitfalls that maybe I need to like be aware of. And so she had slowly like gotten louder until, you know, it was January this year. And I was like, I feel worn out. I feel haggard. I feel like I have just been through the mill. And it really is like, oh my gosh, she came back and she like took the reins, she took control. And it's a great time to just notice where you maybe want to oust a little bit of that energy, where you want to re-establish a different routine, and where maybe you want to topple routines, topple interactions, topple ways of communicating, ways of doing things in life that just are not serving you anymore. And I always say with the Tower energy, it really depends on where you are with everything. You know, sometimes we listen early on to an intuitive nudge, right? And we like adjust accordingly. And sometimes we kind of brush it off and we say, you know, I can keep doing this the same way for another 6 months. And then we hit that burnout. And then the Tower energy feels a lot more like sudden and drastic and intense. So depending on how you've kind of been listening to what you need to adjust, you may find that it's a little bit more intense, or that it's just like these soft nudges. So I will say that with Tower energy too, it can vary widely. But what I kind of like about it is if there's been anything that you have been kind of putting off, knowing that you want to evolve in yourself this month, I think there's kind of a truth bringing moment here of saying, hey, it's time. It's time. Also, let's look at this Two of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles. We can't underestimate the power of some good, grounded, reflective, earthy energy, right? What I'm noticing here is there is a sense of choice for Virgos this month. There's a sense of there being kind of a fork in the road, right? And kind of just being aware that it's like you have choices to make. Right? You can either keep doing things the same old way and trying to stick with that, or it's time to release and move into something that's actually going to give you a lot more peace. And for some of you, it may be that you're nervous to make that shift because you can't tell once the shift is over if it's actually going to be better or not, even though you may feel that sense of like, I can't keep doing things the same way. I have to evolve. Like I'm feeling the push. I'm feeling that natural, like, desire to shift shape. It can be scary for that whole concept of jump and the net will appear, right? And I'm not asking you all to make really reckless jumps into the unknown. You're going to have to listen to your own internal system here, right? As far as what that is. But there is kind of like this choice being made. And the thing is, with Two of Pentacles, it's always about, are you holding yourself in a position? Are you trying to hold everything together and wear like 10 different hats and be everything to everybody else? And how long can you really sustain that? And it's really a chance to ask that question and to drop that, because you can't keep everybody happy all the time and you can't hold all those hats all the time. And it's actually just stopping you from fully embracing who you are becoming. And Nine of Pentacles, like this is the goal. Like I look at all these kind of maybe more uncomfortable cards that maybe we associate with, you know, having to like face into some discomfort or some shift. It's all in the name of getting you to this place of calm. And that's what I really like seeing there, is that yes, you may find you're making adjustments or you're facing into some discomfort around how you're changing shape. And it's all in the name of continuing on the right path. Now, this month, I'm coming back to my Animal Totem Tarot because it's just such a beautiful deck. And I know a lot of you love it and work with it. And I just love animal medicine. I think we need it. For those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, you know, we are in winter right now. And this is a really unique time of year. And Southern Hemisphere, you know, you're in the throes of the heat and summer. It's a really intense point, I think, of reflection in life. And sometimes you just need a little extra. Knight of Cups. I love that. Love that for Virgos. Let's see what the message is for the Cups. It's probably going to take me like a minute to get to the message, but Knight of Cups, I found it. Blue-footed booby. I just like to read the little intuitive message to close out our session today. Blue-footed booby, the Knight of Cups. So here's the message. Watch my feet and I will dance for you. I want you to understand I am a lover, not a fighter. Don't let my knightly gear fool you. I would rather dance with you than see you come to any harm. Just watch my feet, and I know that sooner or later you will be right here next to me, enjoying the sound of the waves as we get lost in each other's eyes. For the most dangerous quest of all is the one of the heart. That's really interesting, right? Because there's a message there about vulnerability and releasing into trusting ourselves, right? Trusting the dance of life, trusting the playfulness of it all, trusting in our own sense of romance, adventure, and play. And, you know, we started this month off with these very anxious cards, these cards that have to do with that inner dictator and the worry, and maybe some feeling like you're not allowed to transform, you're not allowed to progress and make shifts. And the end of this reading is like, absolutely, you are absolutely allowed to feel peace and playfulness and joy and vulnerability and relax and release. And for me, I actually think your empowerment, I really do still think this is such a magical month for Virgos, and I'm so excited to see how it all pans out for you all. This is a month where you can use that attention to detail to really access that level of joy and that harmony and that playfulness that's represented by Nine of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. And to get back into a more joyful, playful place with your body. And I think too, to be honest, Pisces season is going to flow a lot more easily with you. And so as this month progresses as well, we're going to get into the Piscean energy. You're going to feel a lot more connected to others. Mercury retrograde is going to be easing up, and you're going to get that full moon in your sign. So I think too, you know, you're going to find your footing throughout the month. So don't despair if you're feeling a little overwhelmed at the beginning of February. As the month progresses, I think you're going to be finding more and more of that joy and playfulness. I'm excited. And if you want more guidance and more support, we are doing weekly talks over on my Patreon. We're getting really deep into some great topics. And there's just a lot of support and resources to work with for February, so I'd love to see you over there. I'll leave the link below. It's an amazing community of people. The comments section is just gorgeous there. It is really truly the gem of the internet. I love it here obviously too, but just if you want like a little bit of a cozier cocoon, that's a great place to go. You can also find me on my website and in my email, so I'll leave all of my links below for you to find me elsewhere in the world, as well as my Instagram too. I'm really working this year on posting more about my personal journey and how I, as a person, not just as a practitioner or as a leader, as a teacher, am navigating life. So if you're looking for a little inspiration there, I will be there as well. And you can find PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry on her Instagram. Or on her Etsy shop. I will leave her link below. I'm wearing a jewelry set she actually made for my wedding in 2020, and I never actually got to wear it because I was in Sweden and she was in the US, and it was a whole thing, but she makes beautiful stuff. So if you're looking for some inspiration jewelry wise, I'll leave her link below. I'll see my Virgo family in March for more Pisces season, for more mirror season. I love you. I love you so much. You deserve so much joy in this world, and I'm wishing you all the best for this February.